Hola, soy yo, Vicky, otra vez. And in this video, can I just say congratulations if you've got this far with the course. You're doing so well. I know it's not easy sometimes to keep going with learning Spanish, just like anything. So if you've got as far as video 17, I think this is, you're doing really well. So congratulate yourself for sticking with it. And as always, any questions, anything you're having problems with, please send me a message, leave me a comment, and I will try and help if I can. Okay, so in this video, we're looking at the verb estar. If you're just coming into the channel now, you need to look at the videos that leading up to this point. You don't need the book to get something out of the video, but if you have the book, it's on page 29. Break the language barrier, level 1. And if you don't have the book and you'd like a book, you can order it from any Amazon site. Links are in the description, or from me or through the website. Okay, so we're on page 29. We were in the last video, we looked at a little conversation in Spanish using the verb estar predominantly that you had to translate into English. This time it's always a little bit more difficult to do it the other way around. We've got a conversation in English that you have to put into Spanish. It's called in the class, which in Spanish would be en la clase. And so I'm going to read out the, as you know, all the answers are in the back of the book anyway, but the purpose of this is for the help with the pronunciation and maybe explain any little bits and pieces as I go. So, en la clase, we've got Pedro and Pablo. So Pedro says, "Oh, good day, Pablo. How are you?" So in Spanish we would say, "Buenos días, Pablo. ¿Cómo estás? How are you?" Pablo says, "I am very good, thanks. And you?" "Estoy muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?" And Pedro says, "I'm ill, I have a cold." I know sometimes these conversations, they do sound a bit funny, but of course it's just to practice the verb. So, you know, if sometimes they sound a bit, you think, oh, but it's to practice the verb. So Pedro says, "I am ill, I have a cold." "Estoy enfermo," I am ill, I have a cold. "Estoy resfriado." And Pablo says, "Why aren't you in the house? Where is your house?" They always want to know where everybody lives in these conversations. "¿Por qué no estás en la casa?" Of course, if you're ill, why aren't you at home? "¿Por qué no estás en la casa?" Where is your house? ¿Dónde está tu casa? And Pedro says, "I have an English class. Tengo una clase de inglés," because clase is feminine even though it doesn't end in A. Tengo una clase de inglés. My house is on Cartagena Street, number 13 on the right. Now remember, whenever we do a translation from English to Spanish, or everything that we do in this book, it's always a build on from what's happened before. So you shouldn't need to use Google Translate. You should only need to look up the odd word here and there that might be a bit of new vocabulary. Actually putting the sentences together, you need to do yourself using what you've already learned from the previous pages in the book. It's not to look up on Google Translate. Check it on Google Translate afterwards, but you need to put it together yourself. Okay, so I have an English class. Tengo una clase de inglés. My house is on Cartagena Street, number 13 on the right. Mi casa está en calle Cartagena, número 13 a la derecha. And Pablo says, "Oh, I have an English class too. Yo just tengo una clase de inglés también. I like the class very much. It is very interesting. Me gusta la clase mucho." So we had me gusta in the previous conversation. So as I say, you can always find what you're looking for. Apart from the odd new word here and there you might need to find, Most of what you need, the design of this course is that you can find it in the pages before. So, me gusta la clase mucho. It is very interesting. Es muy interesante. Es muy interesante. And Pedro says, yes, but when the window is open, I am cold. Sí, pero cuando la ventana está abierta, tengo frío. So remember from the page before, from the video before, we looked at how when you're talking about feeling cold in Spanish, you actually use the verb to have. So, sí, pero cuando la ventana está abierta, tengo frío. And Pablo says, it is closed today. Está cerrada hoy. So cerrada, because it's ventana, it's feminine. Está cerrada hoy. Are you comfortable? ¿Estás cómodo? And Pedro says, yes, I am very comfortable, thank you. Sí, estoy muy cómodo, gracias. And you, ¿y tú? And Pablo says, yes, me too. Sí, yo también. Okay, so that's the conversation. Then later in practice B, there were questions that are in English, but you had to put them into Spanish and answer in Spanish. So, número uno, how is Pedro? ¿Cómo está Pedro? And the answer would be, how is Pedro? Oh no, Pedro está enfermo. Pedro está enfermo o Pedro está resfriado. Número dos, why is he not in the house? ¿Por qué no está en la casa? Yeah, and the answer would be porque tiene una clase de inglés. Because he has an English class. Número tres, how is Pablo? ¿Cómo está Pablo? Pablo is fine, isn't he? So, Pablo está muy bien. Número cuatro, where is Pedro's house? ¿Dónde está la casa de Pedro? And the answer would be, su casa está en calle Cartagena, número 13 a la derecha. Número 5, what is the class like? ¿Cómo es la clase? And the answer would be, la clase es muy interesante. And then we have número 6. Is the window open or closed? ¿Está la ventana abierta o cerrada? And the answer would be, la ventana está cerrada. I had to look then, I forgot whether it was open or closed. So, la ventana está cerrada hoy. The window is closed today. Y número 7, how are you today? ¿Cómo estás hoy? And I would answer, estoy muy bien, gracias. So your answer would be individual there, depending on how you're feeling. Y número 8, are you comfortable? ¿Estás cómodo or cómoda for a woman? And I would say, sí, estoy muy cómoda, gracias. Vale, okay, that's the end of another video. I hope you're progressing okay in the book and you're doing well. You know, you may get some little things wrong. It's impossible to get everything perfectly right. Absolutely impossible. So, you know, don't beat yourself up if you've forgotten an A or you've done something wrong. Perfection is a bit out of the ballpark really. So it's progress that's important, not perfection. Okay, so, vale, that's it. So don't forget, please give me a thumbs up if you feel like it. Please subscribe if you feel like it. And in the meantime, te veo muy pronto en el próximo video. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Y hasta entonces, until then, que tu Dios vaya contigo. May your God go with you.